First of all, let's set the record straight. 75 Hard is not a diet or a workout program, it is a discipline building tool. As someone who's done it, seen incredible results from it, and is gearing up to start it again, I'm here today to show you everything you need to know about 75 Hard and make it less intimidating for you. So, whether you're ready to start in January with me or are just exploring if this is right for you, stick with me. Hello and welcome, I'm Solari, and today we will dive into the 75 Hard Challenge. You might have seen it on TikTok or heard me or someone else talk about it, and you might be intrigued but also a little bit scared. That's normal. I know it can sound overwhelming at first, but trust me, it's far more achievable than it seems. So what is 75 Hard really? Created by Andy Frisella, it's a program designed to build mental toughness, discipline, and confidence. Every day for 75 days, you will commit to these 6 rules. 2 45-minute workouts, one of them must be outside. Drinking a gallon of water, or 3.8 liters. Sticking to a diet of your choice, no cheat days. No alcohol at all. Reading 10 pages of a non-fiction book, and taking a daily progress picture. The catch? If you miss any of this, you start over. Forgot your progress pic? Back to day 1 you go. It's tough love, but that's exactly what makes it so transformative. Now, if you're thinking this sounds impossible or there is no way I can do this, trust me, I felt the same way before starting. But stick with me. I'll show you how this challenge is actually much more doable than it seems. When I jumped into my first ever 75 Hard Challenge, I was at a very low point, both physically and mentally. My body had been exhausted by non-stop travels and work while getting sick in between several times, and my mind was simply not in the right place. I was tired, burnt out, and frustrated with myself for not feeling in control. I knew I needed something drastic to shake me out of that rut. I heard about the program and thought to myself, if I can do it, I will have so much confidence in myself that nothing will ever be able to crush it. I really needed a boost in self-confidence. And that's the main thing that I personally saw in 75 Hard for myself. How it makes you believe in yourself by making you stick to a schedule, to your promises, and actually delivering what you had promised to yourself. I wanted to show myself that I could be disciplined, and I did, but I also gained so much more in the process. Clarity of mind, mental toughness, a body I enjoy moving and looking at, and some good habits that have actually stuck to me. Granted, I did not finish all the 75 days. Stopping at day 65 was a conscious choice, and even though I didn't finish all 75 days, these 2 months have transformed my mindset and habits in the ways I could have never imagined. Now that I will be restarting the challenge in January, I invite you to join me. I will be posting daily updates on my Insta, so you can follow me there and we can keep each other accountable and this way reach day 75 together. And now I would like to break down each rule separately, as honestly there is a lot to talk about in each of them to make things clearer and easier for you as you're preparing, hopefully, to start the challenge. Water intake. The original rules clearly state 1 gallon a day, which equals to 3.8 liters for us European folks. I know, it's a lot. Over-consuming water is not healthy and can actually lead to health issues, so let us be smart here, okay? We want the program to do us good in the end, not harm us. Andy Frisella says you can only reduce the intake after consulting with a doctor, which honestly is a great take, and I would personally ask you to entertain the idea of talking this challenge to your doctor before picking it up if you have any health concerns at all. Now, even without that, there are 2 things you need to remember about your water intake with this challenge. Number 1 is that women typically need less water than men. And number 2 is that you can always add electrolytes or a little bit of salt to your water if you're worried about keeping that water in. Now, if you're still skeptical, remember that we'll be exercising 2 times a day. Trust me, your body will ask for more water than you think. I've made my water intake 2 liters, but then I would drink a lot of extra water during and after each workout, so in the end my total was much higher than that. Now, with that out of the way, let's touch upon the topic that scares everyone the most: exercising. Yes, you will have to exercise for 45 minutes twice a day. No excuses. And yes, one of these workouts must be outside. If you're discouraged after hearing this, rest assured, you're not the only one. But what if I tell you that this is possibly the most impactful part of the challenge? And I'm here to make it easier than you thought it could ever be. Now, going outside can be hard on its own, especially now in the cold, dark winter months. And then once you're out, like, what do you even do? Touch grass? For 45 minutes straight? If you can even find any under the snow? Now, what if I told you that all you really have to do is take a walk? Yeah, you heard it right. The official rules of the challenge are pretty straightforward about it. Anything that involves movement outside counts as a workout. You can find an outdoor gym, run, or just take a walk in the park or around your block. Pop in some music or listen to a podcast, and if you have a dog or a willing friend, take them along. Walking is extremely beneficial for you, and this way you don't have to make it hard on yourself. When it comes to the second workout, you are the one who chooses a program. Make sure you don't overwork yourself because you have to do it every single day. You don't get any rest days. Which is actually why I would strongly suggest incorporating some lighter activity days like yoga or stretching to actually give your body a little bit of rest time. On other days, feel free to go to a gym if that's what you prefer, but otherwise, working out at home is totally viable. In fact, I did the whole program exercising exclusively at home and I saw great results from it. If you're interested in how I organize my at-home workouts to grow muscles and stay motivated, let me know down in the comments and I will make a video about it for you. The next spot was easily my favorite one, but I know that reading non-fiction sounds daunting to some. Remember, we're only doing 10 pages a day, that's all it takes. Doesn't really feel much in the moment when you're reading it, yet you will find yourself going through at least a couple of books throughout this challenge. I always left reading to the very end of the day, tucking myself cozy under the blanket with my cute bookmarks at hand and some candles burning in the room, making the whole experience nice for myself. And this way you actually kill two birds with one stone. You read something that will hopefully help you improve, and you're staying off your phone for the bedtime, which, by the way, is guaranteed to improve your sleep. Here are some books that I read throughout my challenge and whether or not I recommend them. The Unfair Advantage by Ash Ali and Hassan Kuba. Some interesting ideas, for sure. I couldn't find a way to implement all of them into my life or my work in esports, but I think I can definitely use some. Overall, yeah, I'd recommend, especially if you're connected to startups or that field. Orator by Cicero. Definitely takes effort and your full attention to read through. But honestly, it's a must read, especially if your job is connected to talking to people or public speaking in any shape or form. Overall, highly recommend. Jab, 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 Right a Hook by Gary Vaynerchuk. Honestly, it felt very outdated, so I didn't even finish it to the very end, so I would not recommend. The 12-Week Year by Bran P. Morgan and Michael Lennington. This could have been an email, sum up YouTube video, but I actually do not regret it, despite it definitely having too many words for the amount of information it actually provided. The idea is not new as well, but it is for sure inspiring. Overall, I think I would recommend it too. If you'd like more book recommendations for your challenge or just overall, let me know in the comments because boy, do I have a whole list to share with you guys. Progress peak sounds like the easiest thing on the list, right? But I can't begin to tell you guys how many times I've gone to bed only to jump out of it in cold sweat because I'd almost forgotten to take a peek for the day. And remember, that would fail me the whole challenge. The best solution here is to make it a habit to snap a peek of yourself after each indoors workout. I recommend you take it at the same place, at the same mirror, from all of the angles, and pardon me, with as little clothes as possible. Like a sports attire or underwear that will allow you to see all the changes in your body as you progress much better. And I can tell you from my own experience that you will not see any changes at first for quite some time. But once you notice, like the very first one, they suddenly start accelerating and piling up at a shocking rate. Comparing pics of day 1 and day 50 is an insane feeling. To make it even more satisfying, remember to take a pic from each angle every time you do so. Now, before I go to the last part, please note that 75 Hard is not intended as a diet or a tool to lose weight. While it can definitely be used as one, it's far from its main purpose. If you have a strained relationship with food or dieting, please consult a specialist before attempting this challenge. Now, 75 Hard doesn't specify what you do with your eating habits. You, again, choose for yourself. The only requirement here is to actually stick to it. And there are only 2 rules that are set in stone, and these are no alcohol and no cheat meals or cheat days. With that being said, here is my list of rules. Intermittent fasting for better sleep, no sugar to clear out my skin, eating enough protein and not skipping any meals to gain some mass. Make sure you don't overdo it. For your first 75 hard, I recommend that you have as little rules as possible when it comes to eating, because you really don't want to put too much pressure on yourself. You already have a lot of it with this challenge. On top of that, remember that you will be exercising for 90 minutes a day, so your body will need a lot of good food to fuel itself. A good suggestion I've seen online is sticking to home cooking only, for example, or only cutting out junk food, so something that is not too overbearing, but is still definitely good for your body and your wallet. One last advice: if you accidentally break the rule, for example, you ate something that was out of your list without realizing it, don't beat yourself up. My personal take on that is that you only restart the challenge if you broke the rule knowingly. You might have a different take, but that's what I would recommend for the first challenge at least. Now that you know what 75 Hard is all about, I hope I've helped you see that it's not as scary as it seems and that you can do it too. Remember, this challenge isn't about being perfect or competing with anyone else. It's about becoming a stronger, more disciplined version of yourself. If you're ready to take it on, or even are just thinking about it, let me know in the comments. Share your start date or any questions that you have, and let's build a community of support to crush this challenge together. I'll be starting my own 75 Hard journey in January, and I'll be posting daily updates on Instagram. So if you're looking for tips, accountability, or just some motivation along the way, make sure to follow me there. And if you're still feeling a little bit overwhelmed and unsure where to begin, don't worry, there is more to come. I will be making more videos about 75 Hard, including how to stick to the challenge without burning out, some easy meal ideas, and organizing your workouts at home. So hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you don't miss it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm so excited to see you take on this challenge. Here's to building discipline, crushing goals, and becoming the best version of ourselves, one day at a time.